to the cloud. Okay, so I was just telling everyone, and now we're recording, but I was going to do a master class. I still may, because procrastination is a big challenge in all our lives, but I was going to call it procrastination obliteration. And the word obliteration means to wipe off the face of the earth. And that can be in a negative term, but I like to take negative things and make them positive, just like we do in hypnosis. So anxiety and depression cause so many different other symptoms. And I had mentioned OCD, obsessive compulsive behavior. And my dad would make us late to things because he, for a few years, was obsessive compulsive. And he would check the car door lock, before the remote keys. We had to check the handle on all the doors. He'd do it like 10 times. And again, my dad wouldn't mind me sharing this. He had a great sense of humor. He would check the house door. He would drive an hour and a half, sometimes in traffic, to our duplex we owned to check to see if the empty duplex door was locked. And now that I've been doing this 19 years, I've found that the basis of my dad's obsessive compulsive behavior was anxiety and depression. Okay. And he had some root causes of that. He also had some trauma later on in life. And, traditional therapists, man, they are so they don't realize that the root causes need to be eliminated. And they really aren't in a big hurry to eliminate those either. I'm just sending Myrna in case she wants to join. And do you know what, Dwayne, I was going to ask you for our masterclass on Monday. Mm-hmm. Should we just use the same group Zoom link?
I mean, it's up to you. It's kind of funny. This is on OCD because my friend from Canada that I am, I basically told him, yes, come to this. You need to come to it. He actually asked me about his OCD, and I was like, I believe it. Chuck helps with that.
Yeah.
I've noticed mine's not as bad. Mine was real bad with numbers. Like I'm real bad with numbers. Like I used to count the little lines on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
I would count them, and then it would be like I'd multiply them. I mean, it's like,
yeah, and
I don't know if anybody else does that. So,
and I thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And that kind of behavior is diagnosed as autistic. Really? And there for a while, a lot of therapists would be trendy, and everybody was autistic. Everybody was ADHD. All right. Now, do I have a little attention disorder? Yeah. Is it because my brain works faster than my mouth? Or my brain is stuck in the subconscious? And I have another client that's a business owner, and all of a sudden, I tell everybody in my sessions, we're going to leave the former Dwayne outside the door. And after this session, you're going to walk out the door, Dwayne 2.0. And this lady's had 3 sessions or so. And I said, hey, you're now 3.0 or 4.0. And she just made a Facebook post alluding to this, didn't say, she's seeing me or anything. She just says, we'll use Barbara as her name. I was Barbara 4.0. Now, after yesterday and how I feel, I am Barbara 6.0. And I never mentioned that to her. But once your conscious mind starts looking for the improvements, then you start being more aware of your counting, Dwayne. And autistic people do that, but it's in a different way. we do that to make us feel safe from a root cause. Now, my dad had a trauma, and I always tell everybody traumas happen between birth and right now. Not birth to 7 years old, but birth to right now. And he was stuck in an old elevator for like most of a day.
Oh.
This elevator was stuck in between two floors. And he never had fear of elevator or claustrophobia. He did after that event. Because once you're hitting the call button and the emergency button and nobody's coming, it gets a little bit fearful, right?
Right.
And so all of a sudden, that augmented his anxiety and depression. And then here's what we follow: society's rules too much, don't we? Now, rules are in place to keep us all in line. If you've ever been to California, Jennifer, where your dogs could tell you California stop is not only rolling through a stop sign. And Bobby, I know you don't like to hear this, but a California stop is just blowing stop signs and red lights. And we have a lot of Californians in here, and God bless, they're nice people. But Bobby is an example of someone who was a victim of someone not following the rules, right? And thank God, Bobby, you're healing, and we're all here sending you positive energy and healing vibrations. And just by changing your mindset, which I call a mind shift, a little mind shift, hopefully you're feeling better, right? So here's the thing. We follow society's rules, and it tends to make us a little anxious and depressed when we don't just take imperfect action. I saw another girl who just made $200,000, I think, this month online, giving people Instagram tips. Okay, that's huge. And this girl looks like she's 19, maybe. And she said, you know what? I graduated high school and I was kind of depressed, but I knew I was good at Instagram. And then I started finding out these hacks. And then I found out I could coach people. And then I found out I could advertise on TikTok and Facebook Reels. And I don't know if it was a month, but she made 200 grand. And she was telling about it. And I thought, she said, I decided after high school not to go to college. Now, I have a double degree, my first degree, and I could have gotten 3 degrees my first degree because I love psychology, but I minored in it. And then the second degree, I got a degree in meteorology. But yeah, did it help me learn? Yeah. Did I learn more about doing it day by day? Actually doing the TV weather and learning about weather and then saying, ooh, I really don't know this. I better look it up, right? Or doing the therapy sessions starting 19 years ago. And somebody came to me with OCD. And I said, man, that sounds a lot like anxiety and depression. Now, if you read the psychology textbooks that all the psychologists and licensed practicing counselors and psychiatrists read, they say anxiety and depression are separate. It's just now, because of social media, they're starting to say, yeah, I guess if you have one, you have the other. And then now they're really excited because they can prescribe you 2 pills, one for anxiety, one for depression. And then how confused and in circles is your brain when you're on those 2 pills? Now, Am I totally against medication? No. For a short amount of time, in some instances, it works. There's some people that get caught up so much in a mind movie. I have one guy, and only one guy only, in 19 years, freak out in my home office about how much anxiety. Then I found out later he just wanted to prove to me, he thought I could prescribe pills. And so he wanted pills, right? And I know I am transparent about my former party lifestyle, and a few of us have gone down that road. But now, when we see others going down that road or whatever, saying, hey, I know what's at the end of that road, don't go down there. And by the way, I'm going to take a right turn and do something positive in my life. But I sent him, we're right here. We got 3 borders of El Paso bordering on New Mexico, which is a legal marijuana state. So we have dispensaries. And I sent him on a Sunday to go down and get a gummy to calm down. And I said, that's the most I can do for you. But marijuana, alcohol, drugs are just temporary fixes. They don't fix your problem. So does anybody have any questions or comments right now of anything I said? Anything ring true or?
All I know is just you talking sucks me in. I don't know what the heck you're doing.
Well,
I sit here listening to you and I'm like,
see, I want to hire Dwayne and Jennifer to be my agents, right? But you're so kind. But I've done conversational hypnosis so much, I draw people in to what I'm saying, but I was on TV. And some people say, hey, Chuck, when are you going back on TV, man? Because these clima chicas, as they call them around here, weather girls, they don't know what they're doing. And they bore me after about 30 seconds. And you always have me drawn in and going, damn, I better look that up in weather. Hey, I didn't know that. Wow, Chuck says it's going to rain. And even sometimes, I haven't been on TV. September 11th or 10th will be 6 years since I've been on TV. And still people around El Paso go, when somebody says, oh, there's going to be a lot of storms tonight on Facebook, and then people will write in the comment section, who do you think you are, Chuck DeBroder? You know, and that's such a compliment, you know. And Deirdre, did you ever watch me when you were in El Paso?
Oh, I remember you being on TV. I was a child.
Uh-huh.
I was a little younger, but I definitely remember you
and see, when people say that, I'm like, really, I'm not that old. Because
no,
yeah, no, but I am. But you know, yeah, everybody's like, I used to watch you growing up. I'm like, great. And I still get some people at Walmart that's so funny that they come up to me and say, hey, Chuck, I watch you every morning. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of creepy, because what, are you looking through my window or what? But I haven't been on a morning show in, gosh, 20 years, you know? But people remember, because I would dress up like a cowboy, and then I would wrap up my hand on top of a bull in a chute and do the weather forecast from atop a bull. And then I had a professional bull rider in the chute next to me, dressed exactly the same, Star Western wear, gave us the same. I've got a 5X beaver felt cowboy cap, even from Star Western wear. Adjust my cap down, and then after the 7-day forecast, they came out. I pulled my cap down, but it was the bull rider. He'd ride out of the chute, and he rode around, and the cameraman shot him. And he didn't stay on the bull very long. And it might have even been just a steer, not quite a full-size bull. And he was so mad at himself for not staying on the bull. But then people thought, gee, Chuck is a bull rider. And I did that with a professional motocross guy. I did that with a gymnastics person doing a gymnastics run. And there was one radio news guy goes, man, Chuck really should turn professional for doing motocross because he was doing some tricks this morning. But you know what? I figure you got to keep people's attention. And Dwayne, you're going to be a speaker. Brent, you are a speaker. Not going to be, you are right now. We're all speakers. We just have to get in the groove by practicing, right? But I found in speaking that if I don't vary my cadence, I don't vary the tone a little bit, we have one guy in town that forces his voice down like this. And he's a friend of mine, but Doppler Dave. And he pauses in weird things like, we're going to have rain coming up soon. I'll tell you when after the break. And he forces his voice down. And he's a great guy. He knows weather. And then we have another guy in town that started a little bit after I did. And he thought he was Jim Carrey. So he would use Jim Carrey lines into every commercial break. All righty then, we'll be right back, And I'm like, dude, be original. And remember in the masterclass, which we're giving again Monday night. Deirdre, are you working Monday night? I'm
not sure yet. I'll find out this weekend. So I'll let you know.
Okay, but Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Deirdre has been attempting to come to one of these, but she now is a client. Right now as being part of this group call. So there you go. But I consider all of you clients and people that I'm helping. And again, it took until my young age to figure out, give and ye shall receive. And then if you give, people then realize, hey, this Chuck knows kind of what he's talking about, right? So that's what we all need to do. Bobby, give out some nuggets. She did in her masterclass. Dale, man, we got to do something together. But she already psychically knows that we're going to do something together. And, right? You already know. So Dale's psychic and she's on the same wavelength. And so here we go. Procrastination. Now, Mark Twain said this, and then Brian Tracy, one of the original motivational speakers, and I've got cassette tapes of him back in the day. And he's been doing it forever. I have one called The Millionaire Maker, right? And from back, and the stuff that he says is the stuff that Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins have borrowed, right?
You point. Do you have the cassette tape recorder so you can listen to them?
Oh, Bobby.
Is it like shaped like a car?
It's not shaped like a car, but
it's okay.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. And Rosario goes, what's that? Is that from the dinosaur days? I don't know if she's always saying that because she's a little bit, my wife is a little bit younger, not a lot, but a little bit.
Just enough.
She goes, hey, but then somebody else gave a hard time because I was at work listening to my CD Walkman 6 years ago, and CD Walkmans were old school, and they even took a picture of me on social media. Buy them. I have unlimited power, and that's where ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini all get the unwords, I call them, and they've kind of ruined definitely the word unlock. Unleash, unlimited. Tony Robbins found
Jailhouse break. It's a jailhouse break.
it's a jailhouse break.
Period. It's a jailhouse break.
Yeah, and Tony Robbins uses on almost every one of his programs in some way. But anyway, Brian Tracy was the first quote that he quoted Mark Twain. But Mark Twain says, if you can eat a live frog first thing in the morning, you can do anything after that, right? And it's kind of gross, but it's a metaphor, because eating a live frog is kind of difficult. It's going to jump all over the place, right? So here's what we do. We do a complicated thing first. Now, I had mentioned you write your list in the back of the notebook. I have so many notebooks and they're under things, but you write it in the back. Let me grab one now. And then you write everything I have to do, and you just list it down. Then at the front, you write the 3 things I have to do today/tomorrow. And when you're only looking at 3 things or less, your brain is never overwhelmed. And see, Deirdre, just by talking to me, now I have my 10-year-old, now 11-year-old client told his mom after he started listening to my recorded binaural beat hypnosis sessions, he said, Mom, I cannot stay in a session more than 12, 15 minutes, and I'm yawning from Chuck. But the yawning is a good thing, because when we're stressed and when we're anxious, we don't breathe deep enough. And just like we don't drink enough water, we don't breathe enough oxygen for our brain. And when you breathe deep, like we're going to do here in just a little bit, and when you breathe in one of my sessions, then all of a sudden you equate the tone of my voice to breathing deep. And then, did you know yawning doesn't necessarily mean you're tired? It means you haven't been getting enough oxygen, and your lungs are going, hell yeah, I love this oxygen stuff. Give me some more. And you yawn, right? So there you go. And thank you, Deirdre. I paid her to yawn right now, just so my presentation would be perfect right there in order. Okay. But there you go. So procrastination. Why? That should be the book title right there. My new AI assisted writing book, because then I'll chuckify it, as somebody told me. You know, you chuckify things. I go, what? Chuckify? Oh, you make them more understandable for my brain. Okay. So, but we're in the age of AI. I have no embarrassment to say my first book will be AI assisted. Now, we need Ruby, Chuck. Yeah, we all need Ruby. And Ruby, Deirdre, is this super cool format I'll tell you more about. And it's all the AI tools you'll ever need. Plus, you can make the Deirdre song, and you can pick the singer's voice and the style of music, R&B. You can make a Deirdre rap and do it in the style of Eminem, and the AI makes the song, you know? And the music's pretty darn good. Jennifer is now, she's been booked at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas as a DJ, and she's never even DJed before after just one song right there. So there you go. All right. Why? Why do we procrastinate? Well, we'll come up with 1,000 excuses, won't we? And, you know, again, she always listens from the other room. Rosario tells me, hey, you brought me up again in your meeting. I'm like, yeah, because you're brilliant. But she always, and by the way, guys never like to admit that women are right, but I'm going to make a poster. I tell her it's going to be very nice. That says, Rosario, ... you were right again, ... And she's been right about so many things. And I forgot to turn off my phone, but there we go. It's someone probably calling, but there we go. So now she says, she points out my excuses. And when we're saying an excuse, we justify it pretty good in our minds, right? We say, hey, no, but I got this going on. Well, you got procrastination has to do with disorganization, one of the causes, right? When you're disorganized, and I used to think I would never use a Google Calendar. You know, now I can't live day to day without my Google Calendar and my Calendly booking link, because it reminds me, hey, you got a meeting coming up in a half hour. I'm like, damn, I forgot that, right? I don't know if we've ever been in that situation, but I have, and it's because I'm disorganized. And it feels so good to now say that, because then I would come up in the past, Chuck, would come up with excuses upon excuses. And then I would come up with some biggies, you know? I believe my general manager at my TV station is a vampire. And he has got me under his spell, and that's why I got to work 6-7 days a week. And TV in the entertainment business is abusive. I'll just put it right there. But when I started saying no, it's okay. I love it when people tell me no. And if anybody would have not been able to make this meeting an hour later and said, no, Chuck, I can't. Hey, I'll make it up to you somehow, but thank you for telling me no, because our time is valuable. And if we become out of our schedule or our time blocks that I'll talk about, because, we all do things scheduling wise that says, oh, okay, I have a client from 10 to 11:15. Now, Deirdre can confirm, but we are in the land of manana, where 10 o'clock means 10:30, 10:40. Well, then that throws my next client out of whack, right? Deirdre, right? We always say, are you going to show up right now, or later, is what George Lopez used to say, right?
We have a cultural thing where you're hosting a party, you put the time 1 hour ahead so that people can show up when you actually expect them to arrive. So if you want them there at 4, you're going to put 2:30, 3 o'clock on your invitation, because it's just a natural
and
phenomenon.
They roll in thinking, hey, yeah, I'm an hour late, when actually they're on time. And the only ones know are us that now have to schedule early. I have hired 13 videographers. Some have worked for news stations, and I'm like, how did you ever keep your job? Because none of them could show up earlier than an hour and 15 minutes late. And I had a Hollywood B movie director. He directed some less expensive sci-fis. He hired Eric Roberts and Tom Skilling before Tom passed away for his sci-fi first version. I was in the second movie, but I interviewed him in the basement of a haunted hotel in downtown El Paso. And we're sitting in this creepy basement for an hour, and the photog still hasn't shown up. And then the guy didn't have a bag for his equipment, and showed up all disorganized but he was the one who first quoted George Lopez and said, "Is your camera guy going to show up right now, or later? Because, I can talk for an hour. You all know that, right? I'm a talking animal." But he started to look at his watch going, "Hey, and now looking at your watch, nobody understands that." Well, they kind of do, because now there's Fitbits and Apple Watches and Oura Rings and everything. We're connected to computers. Okay, now let me share my screen. And I wrote this doc. Let's see. Let's hit share. And I'm going to copy the link. Link copied, done. Okay. Now, let's go here. I'm going the wrong way. Hold on. Conquering the procrastination monster. Can hypnosis help? All right. Ever feel that sinking feeling when a deadline looms? Anybody? Raise your hand. But you just can't seem to get started. You're not alone. Procrastination is a common foe plaguing students, professionals, and even the most organized among us. But what exactly is procrastination? Can hypnosis really help us overcome it? Let's dive in. And I forgot to make this one bold, but I will. The procrastination struggle. Procrastination is the act of delaying or postponing a task or set of tasks, often accompanied by feelings of anxiety, and stress. And Dr. Joseph Ferrari, what a cool name, a leading procrastination researcher, defines it as the voluntary delay of intended course of action despite expecting negative consequences. Yeah, that pretty much says it. And I read that by Dr. Joseph, thought I didn't include it. It's kind of scientific, but we delay our course of action, even though we know we're going to be penalized for the delay, don't we? All right. Why do we do it? There are many reasons, but here are some of the common culprits. Fear of failure. Has anybody had that in their life? Perfectionism. There's that OCD coming in. Hey, I can't start my website until I get a perfect website maker. I can't step on stage and speak at the Toastmasters until I really practice my speech. And believe me, I've spoke a lot of times, and when I'm not prepared, you'll know, right? Overwhelm, a daunting task that can feel like a live frog, too big to tackle, leading to procrastination. Lack of motivation. Hey, we're kind of bored by this thing we have to do, so it's easy to put off. I'll do something more exciting, like going to TikTok and watching videos. And, I now limit my watching of reels and video time, or I'll do it while I'm doing my weather forecast numbers, which my wife correctly points out delays my giving her the forecast numbers so she can turn them into graphics, right? The hypnotic ally. Hypnosis is not mind control. You know how many times I have to say this. And I just had somebody on the phone from a southern state, and it was the Baptists that first said, "Ooh, hypnosis is evil. It's a tool of Satan." No, it's not. It's a tool that if you flip using it for negative and the fear, because there's a lot of fear. And again, people say, "Chuck, don't talk religion, politics, or sex. But in religion, they use a lot of fear, don't they? False reality. That's all I'm going to say. But rather than a state of deep relaxation and heightened focus, which hypnosis is, the subconscious mind is just in a state where it's more receptive for positive suggestions. And a qualified hypnotherapist, see how giving I am in this, can use this to address. Now, hopefully you come to me, but if you go to another hypnotherapist, I'm just as happy because there's plenty of clients to go around. I gave up the competition thing a long time ago. When I went into TV, they're like, ooh, Channel 7's beating you, Chuck. Beating me in what? Being more Chuck than Chuck? No, they're not, right? So it's how you phrase it. It's how you keep it in your mind. Here's how hypnosis is a valuable tool. Identifying the root cause. How many times have you heard me say that? And here, let's do this. We're going to highlight this while we're here and highlight this, just like I had to correct a couple spelling mistakes in the last thing. Hypnosis can help us uncover the underlying reasons for procrastination, whether it's fear, perfectionism, or something else. Shifting negative beliefs to positive can promote motivation and confidence. Positive affirmations, and that's why I gave you the manifestation document, and Deirdre, I'll send that to you, a Google link as well. Building new habits. That's what it's all about. Hypnosis can be used to reinforce the desire to take action. And what the experts say. And Dr. Nicholas Andrew, a hypnotherapist specializing in procrastination, believes hypnosis can be a powerful tool in changing negative thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to procrastination. Not a phenomenal quote. I'm going to research another quote of Dr. Nicholas, but it boils it down. Dr. Tara Brackett, she is a stress management expert, says, helping people develop a sense of calm and control, which I help every client do. Right, Deirdre? Right, everybody? I help you stay calm. And when you're in the calm state of mind and you're not stressed, you think clearer and you take better action, which can make it easier to focus on the task at hand. Important considerations. While hypnosis can be helpful, it's not the magic bullet. It works best when combined with other strategies like Dwayne's topic of next Tuesday. You got to join us, everyone, for time management, breaking down large tasks into smaller ones. There we go. I'm going to highlight that. I love that. Ooh, and we forgot the S. There we go. Consulting with a qualified hypnotherapist experienced in addressing procrastination is essential. We'll put that on a line by itself because that's cool. And these Google Docs are going to turn into lightning hypnosis blogs. Did you know that? So there you go. Remembering, overcoming procrastination takes time and effort. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the progress, no matter how small or big. Ready to conquer procrastination? Research hypnotherapists in your area and guided hypnosis, or just contact me and we'll work out a special Hypnotic Mindshift deal. This Google Doc is just a starting point Feel free to add your own experiences, research, personal strategies for tackling procrastination. Let's work together to banish the monster and embrace a more productive and fulfilling life. Amen. Do I get an amen and a hallelujah from the back pews? Because this is really good. So does anybody want to contribute as I will stop sharing?
I concur.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said I concur.
Oh, you concur. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. For the representative in the back, they do that in politics. I concur. Yeah. Procrastination document. Link. Here we go. I'm going to put that in, and then here's the link to the doc right there. So copy and paste it. If not, I'll send it to you directly. So anybody have any techniques that they've found that help them get started on a project that they've been delaying? How do you get motivated? Anybody?
For me, it matters if I want to do it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Dwayne, sometimes it's tough to get motivated on, and I thank you for coming on my group calls because you're on a lot, but you do learn a few things here and there, don't you?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
yeah.
it's all about bettering yourself, you know. And a lot of people are afraid to better themselves. Like I was actually talking to someone, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't think I want to do the hypnosis thing. It might make me actually better, and I don't want to do that." So
Hey.
it was really a weird.
Oh, no, and I've got clients like that. They're like, damn it, Chuck. You made me stop smoking. And they get pissed at me.
Right.
They're like, I'm not talking to you for a few days because I'm not smoking as much. I'm like, well, wasn't that one of the reasons you came to see me? Yeah, but it actually worked. Or, damn it, you made me successful.
Right.
And how many people that have become successful in something in your life, it does take more of your time once you're successful. It does take more of your work, but then you have to be successful on figuring out how to do things more efficiently. Like Ruby AI. See, you like that tie-in right there?
Nice.
Yeah. I'm always good at tying things in and promoting people and things that I enjoy. But
I wasn't trying to promote. I was
What?
just referring. I wasn't trying to promote it. I was just referring to the, to Jennifer and Dwayne about Ruby and you taking your persona from Facebook and putting it into Personify over there in Ruby and see what it does. It becomes you. I mean, we could take your Facebook URLs because they're separate. You have separate groups, and put that in there.
So I was actually going to do that project.
Yeah, I think.
No, I really was. I was like, I'd already thought of doing that. So one of mine and his friends actually created a ChatGPT type program that's based off of him.
Yeah.
But I was going to create a persona for Chuck.
You can take all that information from that and put it in. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and guess what? That Danny's not giving me a commission, man. And he was
Really?
like, yeah, no.
That's messed up, man.
No, he's not giving me anything, but he developed an AI selling tool to sell his program based off of Chuck.
He even named it Chuck.
He even named it Chuck.
Yes.
What? And you're not seeing nothing out of that? Have you talking to a lawyer?
No, but it was for one project. I don't know if he's using it all the time.
No.
But if he is, man, I need a cut, right?
Yeah.
It's just like when I was on TV, this T-shirt shop showed me a T-shirt. It said it was based on Chuck Norris type theme, and it says Chuck DeBroder doesn't only forecast the weather, he tells it what to do, right?
Ooh,
Oh my
nice.
God.
And,
That's
and that was a
awesome.
t-shirt, and they showed it to me, and I went to grab the hand, and he put it back in the bag and walked off. He says, "Hey, do you mind if we sell these?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's my name." So this Chuco Relic is a t-shirt shop here in town, and they were selling it for a while. And I said to the owner, I said, "Hey, did you realize that Chuck DeBroder, the name on this shirt, is getting 0 from the shirt?" And I wasn't super, I mean, I'm all about people supporting themselves, but throw me a little bone, at least give me a few shirts. One
Yeah.
other t-shirt company gave me like 10 shirts that printed my name on the shirts. And so that was cool. And I gave it to my other family, which actually Rosario's family is, I feel like I'm part of their, because I am part of their family.
I was
But I
about to
gave-
say, aren't you part of the family?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like they're
that
more
like
of
marriage?
a family. Yeah, it is a marriage thing.
Okay.
I guess
Okay.
they're my in-laws. But you
You
know
know,
what I'm saying, sometimes in-laws don't feel like family. Can I get an amen right there?
I've never had them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Jen's got the hand up.
Okay. So, but we gave them to the twins. We gave them to the other 2 sisters of Rosario and the nephew. And so, yeah, it's always good about sharing. But I need a Ruby robot made of me. And so that's a project for this week, Dwayne and Bobby and whoever. And then Jennifer's going to be my music producer. She'll help me sometime. But I want to put something on Spotify. And then, I've got 310,000 YouTube subscribers on my weather, and I've got 127,000 weather Facebook subscribers. So if I could promote that, maybe I'd get some downloads. What do you think?
Chuck, there's a girl in the group that what she did was pretty phenomenal. She made a song of affirmations. Did you guys see that?
No, that's
It's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah. I think that that's a good idea, right? So if
Haven't
you have
heard
a
it yet,
song
but-
that's all affirmations and you listen to that every day, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then AI would put the most common affirmations that would benefit the most amount of people. Like Saturday Night Live, Al Franken, who became a congressman at one time in the US, but he was a comedy writer and an occasional actor on Saturday Night Live. But he played this Stuart Smalley, who would look in the mirror and say, "Darn it, I'm good enough.
Yep.
I'm smart enough, and I can do it." And he was kind of making fun of people with affirmations. But really, there's nothing to make fun of, because if you self-talk positive, you're going to attract more positives your way. Like, I am going to make a couple songs on Ruby and then promote them and see if I get any downloads or anything or whatever. Some artists that we'll never hear about make a good monthly income from decent songs on Spotify, right?
Well, and then there's also the group, thing about once it's on Spotify, if you have a Spotify account, you can go and like that. You can get them a like. And it all adds up on Spotify.
Wow.
Stream.
So strength in numbers.
So Maho, I was going to do a streaming
Fine.
channel,
Yep.
create the streaming channel, and all the people that are part of Ruby with us will have all our stuff on, and we can have it on autoplay and just let it go.
Nice.
So you could play it on your phone and just mute it if you wanted to listen to something else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking into it. Yeah.
So guess what? Just by talking about it has gotten us a little excited
Manifesting.
about it, right?
Yeah, I just gotta get Dell part
So
of it. So, because
I'm going to offer this to the group. anybody, if I'm free, needs a 5-10 minute conversation to talk about something that they need to do and they need that extra motivation, I'm willing to say, hey, you got this. It really isn't as big as what you make it to be in your mind. And once you get the ball rolling, once you get started, just like driving to the gym and walking through the front door is 90% of the battle. I used to just say driving to the gym. And then I had some clients say, I drive to the gym and I sit in the car and scroll on my phone and listen to music and I don't go into the gym. So now I have to say, go into the front door and start working out. And once you start working out, then you're golden.
Swimming
So-
counts.
Swimming counts, walking counts. And walking, oh my gosh, tomorrow morning, I'm going for a walk and I walk up and it's St. Francis of Assisi Episcopalian Church off of Escondido. And I walk up a deer trail and I see pheasant this big. I saw a bobcat one morning, which bobcats are house cats with an extremely bad attitude. But, you know, it just looked at me like, oh, you're no big deal. And I said, hey, you're a big deal, so go ahead. And I was walking 4 or 5 days a week. And all of a sudden, I'm doing a TikTok video. And I walk back up to do take 2 or take 3. I usually get it in 2 or 3 takes. I'll do take 4 for security. Sometimes I get it in the first take. But I do a walking and talking video. And then I watch the replay and I'm like, Chuck, you were out of breath on that walking and talking video. You need to walk again more, right? And I do. And before quarantine, I was working out 4 days a week. And just going to the gym stops the procrastination. So if anybody in the group needs a Facebook message or a quick little phone call, I'm going to offer that to everybody here while I can, because this morning, this group juice, as they call it, has 700 members, and they want me to do a master class in front of the group. Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
And
Awesome.
one of the
Awesome.
group owners was like, damn, Chuck, you're slaying it. With some of the testimonials I had told him, you know, about Raquel making an extra 1.3 million, and not only the fence company, but doing an event center, and she's a coffee roaster and a coffee importer, and her daughter's now got a photography studio in the event center, and her other daughter has now a makeup studio in the event center. And just that one testimonial alone. But she's paid me a lot of money, the most anybody's ever paid me in a year and a half. But how much is it worth to you for someone to help you make an extra 1.3 million a year?
That's not enough. I want a billion with a B.
Okay.
With a B.
There you go. And we got to get
Yeah, it's the billion club.
we got to get the subconscious billionaire back in here,
Yeah.
Raquel. And I have, again, I'll leave you with this. I procrastinated about speaking in front of a mental health organization, and I did it, and 80 mental health professionals, they all were judging me. I think I told you this in the master class, but I won them over by the end of the talk because they're like, damn, I didn't know that. Or wow, you know, and we're all here because of the energy we send out. And now it's scientifically proven that quantum physics exists. As much as our powers that be, the richest people in the world and our politicians don't want us to know some things, there are powers in the universe, magnetic forces that can, like Tesla, give us free energy. We would never have to pay an electric bill if they would release what a few people have found out, how to make electricity from just the atmosphere around us, right?
Thanks
Yes.
to Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, my uncle used to make helicopters from scratch out of Ford trucks.
Wow.
And then he never knew how to fly. And talk about taking imperfect action. He would get in the damn things and fly them for 3 miles and crash and say, oh, I need to fix this in the next model. And so then he found out how to make an engine running on water, and a 3-letter organization, in fact, a couple of them, visited his home.
Yeah.
Because they don't want us to run our cars on water. And that's why I was so surprised that Elon Musk was allowed to do the electrical thing.
What?
But, you know, so there you go. There was a helicopter over my house in my dream last night. Oh, wow.
The hell is that?
Yeah. In your dream. And I do some dream interpretation as well. And I'm sure you do, Dale. But I would say right now it's my Uncle Orville. Orville Hanneman was his name. And he had the German intelligence. And he was a good old country boy in Pueblo, Colorado, flying his Ford trucks for 3 miles and crashing.
That
And
gave me
also,
chills.
what?
Like just electricity through my body is just, there's just a pulse. They call it goosebumps.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can talk forever. And I know some of us have to go. But any questions before we go? We'll meet again next Tuesday at 9 a.m. because I'll have all my stuff done for my boss in the other room. And she's a tough boss. You know, if I don't finish my work, I don't get to eat. And I love food. So there you go.
Oh,
Any questions right now or last parting comments?
oh, the wall just ran through the song, ran through my head. You can't have your meat if you don't eat your pudding. You can't eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pink
And if you
Floyd.
don't eat
Floyd.
your pudding, you can't
Yes.
have your mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. All in all, we're just another brick in the wall. How metaphorically excellent was that? We don't need no education. And how true have we found out that to be in the way of higher education? We need better initial education with teaching like they do in Japan. And I mentioned this, the first 4 grades, they don't give any grades out. They just teach the kids manners and how to walk across the street and how to cook an egg and how to do some basic stuff. But they end up being phenomenal students once they start getting graded in grade 5. And the Montessori kid that just blew me away, the doctor's kid who I was given a session to, and she raised her hand in the session and said, Mr. DeBroder, could you define this word you just used, because I don't know what it means, and could you use it in a sentence like it was a spelling bee? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're 7? My 40-year-old clients don't do that. They just act like they know the word, you know? And but she was taught manners, and it goes a long way, right?
The veil.
Yeah.
It depends on what side you're on.
And Mama Deirdre knows, right? And she's got that Latina mama look too, that all mamas have, whether they're Latina or not. When you're messing up and mom looks at you side-eyed, you better behave, right? In a second.
I was a fast runner as a kid.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I was the youngest. Yeah.
Well, you were a geek.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
You still are.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be a geek.
I just wear it better now.
Yeah. Well, I want you to go out and think about doing one of your hobbies. Think about doing something you procrastinated about. If it's cleaning a room, get 3 trash cans or 3 boxes, 1 for trash, 1 for recycle or giving away, and 1 to keep. Okay? And cleaning your environment around you makes your thoughts more clear, makes you more focused, and makes you less anxious and depressed. Even though hoarding, the basis is anxiety and depression. So think about that. Text me all your wins. Dale is yawning too, so she is relaxed. And I've relaxed Jennifer. Real quick, I'll let you go. One last little thing. The daughter of Raquel had a super hyper dog, and she usually kept it out of the room, but it snuck into the room during our hypnotic session. And I took her daughter out of hypnosis, and she goes, "Oh my God, this is impossible. You hypnotized my dog." And there was the dog on its back, completely out and hypnotized. So maybe that's a new thing that I should do too, is I'm the dog hypnotist, not the whisperer,
Hypnotist.
but I can get your dogs out of bad habits like chewing up your shoes.
Oh, that'd
And
be good.
there you go. All
I
right.
had to lay down, not to be rude, but I had to lay down because I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep.
Well, see, and that's why, Jennifer, we got to get together. So there you go.
I know.
And we'll get
Good for
some
you,
good
Link.
benefits. But thank you all for being flexible today. And we will talk again Tuesday. Have a very restful, rejuvenating, and successful weekend. Okay. Rest your week.
Hey, you
Hi,
can
Jill.
y'all can invite for the master class on Monday too.
Oh, Monday, yeah. Could you? And it'll be the same link. Let's do it.
Okay.
Just
sounds
send
good.
everybody this group link, and
Okay.
just don't tell them it's the group link until after we get the hyper ones that are excited about talking to me, and then I'll say, hey, by the way, the same link is good every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Okay. So, but it is masterclass, and it's going to be the same slides, but you know me, I do everything differently each time. So you'll get some more value, and you'll get some of the same value that will be through repetition stuck in your subconscious a little bit more. Okay. All right, everybody, stretch. We didn't get a stretch and breathe, but next time, and breathe deep. We got you to yawn. See, Jennifer's yawning, Dale's yawning.
Sorry.
That's good. That means
Dale's
it's
laying in
working.
bed.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm on the couch, Dwayne.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, Deirdre, Bobby, everybody. And we'll be talking to you again soon, okay?
All right.
Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Night.
Okay, and Dwayne, thank you. And invite everybody Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Night.